How is everybody? um, I feel like this could be a guitar stream. I just spent like the last 5 hours fiddling around with my guitar trying to learn this song. Um, it is what it is. What you're gonna do about it? Uh, but I don't really. Again, let's talk about. Ooh, what is this over here? Let's talk about. Oh, okay. Why don't we do this? Why don't we close this? I don't think we need to check on everything. I think everything looks fine. Everything is running great. Uh, we've got the light on. We can cut that light on. When is sunset?
Sunset will be at 7:19 p.m. today.
You are, I was about to say fastly, which is a word, but let's not be ridiculous. You are quickly running out of weekend. Uh, weekend, summer. So I'm sorry. Summer is like a 2 month weekend if you work it right, but you are quickly running out of summer. So make sure you get out there and get some of these nice days where it's not too hot and it's not too cold, right? Make sure you take someone you love with you, like your kids, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your dog. Like, just make sure you sit in the park and like think about the future. That's part of human beingness, right? It's not always being told to wear what everyone else is wearing and do what everyone else is doing and be at the cool place and the cool club and the cool this and the cool that. Sometimes it's you just sitting in a field with your dog and your cell phone, taking a couple of selfies and then thinking about, man, if I could get through, you might be in college or you might, you know, be in this, out, the other thing. Wow, where am I going to be in 10 years? That's part of it. Want to make sure you have promise for tomorrow. Ooh, wow. Promise for tomorrow. Hey, how about that? Nice. Uh, so yeah, I was trying to remember if I remembered all my chords. Uh, ran through some scales, made sure I was good. Tried to learn this goofy song. Should I cut on? Well, I feel like it's dark in here, but it's not because I have natural light hitting me in the face. But when I look around, everything is dark. Uh, everyone got to get the shot. Get vaccinated, people, because if you don't, you won't be able to do anything. It's your right, but it's kind of not. All right. We don't talk about that because YouTube is twitchy, and when I say twitchy, I don't mean Twitch. Is shaky with the rules. Woo! It is Friday, people. It is the beginning of your weekend, right? So tomorrow is September 11th. So yeah, I will be here tomorrow at 6:30. I don't know. Maybe I'll just run one of my cooking shows from, or maybe I will cook something. I don't know. But I can't bring anything in here to cook. Then I would have to log in, exit, and then come in on this phone, which is weird. We tried that once before. Um, yeah, there's nothing but grim news. At least four killed in a Taliban crackdown on protests. And there, my friends, is what you have. Here's the thing: you should not have promised those people American democracy because they are not America and you were unwilling to make them a state. Um, it's it's sad, really. Yeah, this is what happened here. Let's not get loose with the rules. I associate this thing with the American Revolutionary War, right? And I could be wrong because for all you know, I'm a PhD history and theorist with a minor degree in statisticianology. or I'm just some dude talking bullshit on a Friday night. Either one of those could be true. Look, listen. We went over there. We were on their ground, right? They had a problem with us being there. That looks to me like the Redcoats being here on this ground, and we had a problem with them being here. Um, yeah, you take some of the loyalists. You put a lot of loyalists on both to England, right? A lot of black people who were once slaves went to England in 1776, 1777. A lot of patrician white families who were, I guess, they're in their day, they would have been the Rockefellers, right, or the DuPonts, bet with the Queen, and then they left, right, leaving us here to do whatever. So now they're over there. We left. We took some of the people who tried to be interpreters and tried to help us out, right? Um, but they left some of their families there. So now there's a reckoning, right? There were people who didn't leave who supported the king and queen, and they got tarred and feathered and burnt out and run out of jobs. It was a new country and fuck you kind of stuff. So yeah, I expect, and people die. It's a war. Remember that. So people lost their sons and their brothers and their husbands and their wives, right? People lost, other than the fortunes of it, people had harsh feelings. You're gonna have to wait for them to die before not a lot of them, but I don't know how many of them will forgive, right? A lot of people will take it with them to their grave, is all I'm saying. Um, so yeah, we got out. I just wish we would have got out in not such a crass and ridiculous way. Uh, we should have gotten out in a way that made a little more sense versus trying to get out of the country like the cops raided a frat party or some shit. Ooh. Mm. All right. I'm having trouble with my strumming. So I'm having trouble with my C too. Whew. Do I want to put this way over there? No. We'll pick it up again. So let's remember. Um, the winners right history is antiquated term. I mean, now everyone can see. I mean, granted, people are still trying to influence the truth, but a lot of people see what's going on, right? So, I mean, it's not like the 1700s where you could spin it to your populace and it's someone else's. We're all separated by like a text message or a tweet or something like this. Um, I don't think the American people have an issue with us leaving Afghanistan. I think it's how we left Afghanistan, which is the fuckery here. Am I right? Um, and again, you can't hate on them too bad. I don't. I think they're a savage society. But again, you gave freaking not you person, but they gave like tribal people guns and sat phones for God's sakes, right? And then you can't even lock people out of the text message that the West invented. Used all this shit against you. Why wouldn't you? It's like the Indians back in the day. They had bow and arrows and tomahawks, and then they had to fucking buy guns from unscrupulous white people who were playing both sides against the middle, right? So by the middle to the end of this whole thing, everybody's got guns. Nobody uses bows and arrows. They might still scalp you in the traditional way, but they weren't shooting at you with bows and arrows. They realized soon enough that the technology was superior. And now you gave more tribal people, helicopters and shit like this that they can't use. You trained some of them to fly jets, who then had to fly those jets out of the country and ask for asylum. Oh, it's a hot mess, man. But this is what happens, right? It's war. People keep acting like, okay, well, they're going to be nice to people. They don't have to do shit. They're their own country now. They were their own country before. Um, And to our credit, that's the place we should have been, not Iraq, right? That's the place we should have been. Um, and I've said this before. We should have unleashed them, and when I say them, I mean the military. Nobody's coming home, and whoever was gonna willing to hide, you should have promised that outright and had them live on a military base with their family, and then evacuated the military base and took them with, versus living down the street or 5 miles away or whatever. Nobody got time for that. Um, so yeah, none of this makes any sense to me. Am I a layman? Yeah, I'm absolutely a layman. Um, but at the same time, I'm not an idiot. I mean, you can't tell me that a building that is like fully engulfed in is in a raging mode of perpetual flame. You can't then sit and tell me that everyone in that place is going to be okay and you've got it under control, because I'm looking at it with my own eyes and going, excuse me, and going, oh my God, this is like one of the worst things I've ever seen, sir. What are you going to do about it? Oh no, no, don't. You're just making uh, too much out of nothing. I'm pretty sure all these people will be back in this house tonight. You're like, what? What? The whole place is, the whole place is a candle. Oh no, no, you're just being negative. I'm sure. It reminds me of the guy who at the beginning of the second Gulf War, I want to say, he was like, yeah, look, there are no Americans here. Everything is fine. What they call him, Baghdad Bob. He was like the press agent. He was just lying. Like, yeah. So I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. Um, Baghdad Bob. Can we even look up if I wonder? I mean, they caught all those guys. I wonder if they caught him. There was a deck of card collection. Remember? All right, Baghdad Bob. Ah, Mohammed Saeed al Sahaf is an Iraqi former diplomat and politician. He came to worldwide prominence around 2003 invasion of Iraq, during which he was the media and foreign affairs minister under President Saddam Hussein, acting as a spokesman for the Arab Socialist Ba'ath Party and Saddam's government. Hey, he's 84. He's still around. Movies back. The University of Arizona. Hey, he got. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's got a degree from the University of Arizona. Why do we educate these people? It's just ridiculous. Um, During the Iraq War, nickname. Blah, blah, blah. He served ambassador. Saddam was some sponsor removal. He removed foreign minister and unclear book act. Post-war. Oh, on June 2000, the British newspaper Daily Mail reported that al-Assad had been captured by coalition troops in a roadblock in Baghdad. The report was not confirmed by military authorities and was denied by al-Sadi's family through Abu Dhabi TV. The next day, al-Sahaf recorded an interview for Dubai-based news channel Al Arabi. He was reportedly paid as much as $200,000 for the television interview, in which he appeared very withdrawn, in contrast with the bombastic person he projected during the war. At least he got out of Iraq. Many of his answers consisted of simple yes or no. He refused to speculate on the cause of the downfall of the Iraqi government and answered only, "History will tell us." History will tell when asked if video clips purporting to prove that Saddam Hussein was alive were genuine, amid speculation at the time that Hassan Hussein had been killed during the war. His fame quickly evaporated as the war continued with the insurgency phase. There you go. From mid 2003 on, when he faded from the public spotlight and was no longer a figure in the war. Assad said that he had surrendered to United States forces and had been interrogated by them and then released. He was not charged for his role in Saddam Hussein's government. Yeah. In March 2008, he was probably just some low level flunking. They were like, he's not raping anybody, he's not murdering anybody, he's just some dude here. Yeah, all right, get out of here. Your government's gone. Um, He's living in the United Arab Emirates. No, but there's no nicknames. Also, I've known for his daily press briefs in Baghdad during the 2003 invasion of Iraq. His colorful appearance caused him to be nicknamed Baghdad Bob. And the solid previous propagandists with geographical aliases, some of them alliterative, such as Hanoi Hannah and Soul City Sue. Oh my God. Anna Wallace Sue, 1900-1969. The woman generally associated with the nickname Soul City Sue was a Methodist missionary educated in North Korea propaganda radio to the United States forces during the Korean War. So she sent propaganda from the North Koreans. Hanoi Hannah was a Vietnamese radio personality best known for her work during the Vietnam War, when she made English language broadcasts for North Vietnamese directed at United States troops. All right. Um, he was nicknamed Comical Ali, a wordplay allusion to Chemical Ali, the nickname of former Iraqi. Oh my God. Comical Ali and the wordplay on Chemical Ali. I totally forgot about this Chemical Ali guy. The nickname of former Iraqi defense minister Al Hassan Mahi Al Mahi by commenters in the United States, the United Kingdom. Compton in Italy nicknamed him Al E Comico announcement. He printed American soldiers were committing suicide by the hundreds outside the city. His pronouncements included claims that American soldiers were committing suicide by the hundreds outside the city and denials that there were any American tanks in Baghdad, when in fact there were only several hundred meters away from the press conference where he was speaking to the combat. Sounds of nearing American troops could already be heard in the background of the broadcast. On another occasion, he spoke of the disaster outcome of previous foreign attempts to invade Iraq, citing an unspecified Western history book and inviting the journalist present to come to his home to read it. His last public appearance as information minister was on 8 April 2003 when he said that the Americans are going to surrender or be burned in their rank. They will surrender. It is they who will surrender. When asked where he's got his information, he replied, authentic sources, many authentic sources. He pointed out that he was a professional doing his job. He reminds me of that guy during Katrina who was a government official too. And turns out he was a horse trader or something like that. Uh, so yeah, I mean, this sounds like one of those bullshit posts. He was a professional doing his job. He frequently used the word uluj, an obscene and particularly insulting term for infidels, to describe the American forces in Iraq. This caused some debate in the Arab language media about the exact meaning of the word, with most concluding it meant blood sucking insect. In August 3rd interview in Abu Dhabi, Al Aua, Al Sahaf said it was an archaic term attributed to Umar ibn al Khattab. Okay. Was the second Rashida Caliphate. He was one of the most powerful and influential Muslim caliphates in history. He was a senior companion. Oops, sorry about that. He was a senior companion. He was a senior companion and the father-in-law of the Islamic prophet Muhammad. He succeeded Abu Bakr. Okay. Sahaf gained something of a cult following in the West, appearing on T-shirts, cartoons, and internet phenomena. In UK, a DVD documentary was sold about his exploits and interviews called Comical Ali. Yeah, all right. Well, he's apparently alive and kicking and living someplace. Yeah, 2001, 2003, 1992 to 19. He was foreign minister for 9 years. Yep, there you have it. Uh, let's see him. There you go. Oh my God, Tariq Aziz, the only Christian member of the, yeah, they threw his ass in the claim detention defense for trial. Oh, he died. Let's see where he died. Died on June 5th, 2015, in Al Hussein Hospital in the city of Nasiriyah at the age of 79. According to his lawyer, he was treated well in prison, but suffered from ill health and simply wanted to end his misery. The incarcerated Aziz suffered, he was still incarcerated, suffered from depression, diabetes, heart disease, and ulcers. Aziz's daughter, Zainab, claimed his body was stolen at the Baghdad International Airport en route to Jordan by unidentified men on 11th of June. It was recovered the day after Jordanian authorities said the body had not been stolen, but merely delayed until the relevant paperwork was filled out. Why would they go through all this over his dead body? Um, Ziad was arrested for corruption. Ziad was accused by his former minister of using the official position for his father, most of his cars, to facilitate smooth crossing of the Jordanian border with contraband, attempted murder of her husband's family, as well as corruption involving French and Indonesian companies. He was arrested and sentenced to 20 years in prison. Aziz resigned from his post, but Sanam did not accept his resignation. Ziad was eventually released from prison when Saddam decided that Aziz had paid enough for his mistake. Okay, nice to know. Aziz now lives in Jordan with his wife, 4 children, and Tariq Aziz's 2 sisters. You mean his 2 aunts? Tariq Aziz's wife and another son live in Jordan. Yeah, shady, shady. He was a Christian. He was the only Christian in a city of Muslims. Heart attack, Iraq, social for Baghdad, political career detention, defense. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Sort of a brutal game, right? What are you gonna say about it? But let's check. That was us wandering around over there. Let's check our own news, which is here in America. Hurricane Larry will produce snow measured in feet. Some of the most iconic 9/11 news coverage is lost. Blame Adobe Flash. Oh, really? That might be a good thing. But something tells me if it's on TV, they keep these recordings, so you didn't lose anything. Journalism is often considered the first draft of history, but what happens when that draft is written on software program that becomes obsolete? Adobe ending support for Flash is once ubiquitous multimedia content player. Last year, meaning that some of the news coverage of September 11 attacks and other major events from the early days of online journalism are no longer accessible. Also, it's not gone; it's just not accessible. For example, the Washington Post, ABC News both have broken experiences with their December 11 coverage. Viable in the Internet Archive, CNN online coverage of December 11 also has been impacted by the end of Flash. Yeah, an interactive piece from ABC News returned the flight path of the plane that hit the World Trade Center is no longer viewable because it was built on Adobe Flash. Never ending problem. Yeah, technology is racing. What are you going to do? Nobody reads books anymore. Everybody's reading on their tablet. People are going to forget the technology for books. And then one day, all the power is going to go out. And all your tech musicians and all this won't know how to play a guitar or play a horn or do any of that shit. And we'll sort of start from the bottom up again, I guess. Where's my phone? Excuse me. Let's do this. All right, so we're not going to look at any of the non. We're not going to look at any of the 9/11 stuff. Ugh. There's someone playing a drum across the way. Uh, yeah, I keep forgetting I have to get closer when we do this, right? Or change the whole setup of that camera. Oh my goodness. All right. Ooh. Uh, 17 men arrested trying to get a kid that has septum. 17 people. Oh, good Lord. What are you going to do with these people? Um, Amateur treasure hunters discover a trove of 6th century gold jewelry. Yeah, I've heard this happens every now and then. So what happens is they lead these cushy lives, right? And then all of a sudden the horde comes through and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper into their society. And then they have to abandon their castle or their town and they expect to come back and they bury their belongings in the woods. And who knows, maybe they do come back, but they can't find where they buried them, or maybe they buried them and then left and then were killed, or all sorts of shit happens. Never got back to that land because, but I was like, wow, the Lord. Amateur treasure trove hunted. Let's see if we can find that. That'd be good to freaking investigate. I love that kind of stuff. Uh, and he was an amateur too. Amateur treasure hunter finds 1 million of Anglo-Saxon gold coins. That's 2015. We're looking for today. Really? Ah. Amateur treasure hunter 1 month ago. The Curse of Buried Treasure. Freed. Mathazio of Crime. Anglo-Saxon Cross with Sunning. June 17, 2021. February 2021. New Age Gold Hoard. Metal detector discovers Black Death period coin. June 28th. 1400-year-old Anglo-Saxon sword pyramid found by metal detector in Norfolk. Which Norfolk? We have a lot of cities named after old British towns. This is the Daily Mail. This is the UK. Central area by an amateur archaeologist with a metal detector. Article made gold garnet pyramid sword and dates back to 506 to 630 AD when Norfolk was part of the Anglo-Saxon kingdom of East Anglia. All right. All right. Yeah, this is the old stuff. I've seen this. I want to find this new stuff. Hidden treasures we can find home. Ugh. Really? Fine. Really? Because I can't believe that that's not on. Okay, fine. That's pretty fucking. I mean, that's the title of it. I'm amazed that 3 hours ago. Here you go. Amateur treasure hunter discovers trove of 6. Yeah, that's exactly what I typed. Why didn't it show up? Look at this. Let's look at the swanky gold. Experts say the cache is one of the largest and most significant of its kind ever found in Denmark. First time treasure hunter Ole Giernerup shits SCHYTZ shites have been out with his new metal detector for a few hours when he stumbled on an astounding discovery, a stash of 1500-year-old gold artifacts dated to the Iron Age. New experts have deemed the find made in field near the town of Jelling in southwestern Denmark last December one of the largest and most important in Danish history. Hold on. How much is £1 million in dollars?
The answer is 1,383,000.
All right. So he found $1,300,000 worth of gold just buried. I wonder how it got there. Let's see what the story says. Primarily bracelets, medallions that were popular in Northern Europe during the migration period, roughly 300 to 700 CE. Women will have worn the pendants, which were often described as magical symbols or runes for protection. Yeah, then you got to abandon your home and go someplace with all this gold on you. You become a target. So then maybe you stop wearing it and you put it all together, and then something happened, and then you had to hide the whole thing that you had, right? Month after revealed many of symbols and symbol present objective. One of the medallions depict the Norse god Odin and appears to be based on a similar Roman jewelry that celebrated emperor as gods. Here are some Nordic mythology infancy. Older found the cache include gold. Roman Empire referred to Constantine, who ruled through him. The coin present such that Jelling, known to be cradle of Viking civilization between 8th and 12th century, was the center of power with trade links across Europe, the European continent. The object and magic craftsmanship pointed to their owner's original probable high status. Only one member of society, absolute top, would have been able to collect a treasure like that one found here, said the driver in this statement. When he excavated the site where shits found the hoard, they discovered the ruins of a village longhouse. Without the amateur treasure hunter discovery, there was nothing that could have made there was nothing that could have made us predict that an unprecedented warlord, a great man, lived here long before the kingdom of Denmark arose in the following centuries. Wow. So Denmark is not 1,500 years old. Archaeologists posit that the gold was buried to protect it from invaders or as last ditch offerings to the gods. The find is dated to around 536 when the volcanic eruption in Iceland covered the sky in ash and caused widespread famine in Scandinavia. Other gold troves found in the region, including a group of 32 artifacts unearthed on the island of Hjarno, have been dated to around the same time. Wow. Wow, people. That's fucking ball ass impressive. Here we go. We don't need to watch the bombing of Dresden. So yeah, pretty good. I wonder what they do with the money. Trove of 239 rare gold coin discovered in wall of a French village. Yeah, people were hiding stuff all over Europe because there was a war like 100 years ago. No, I'm sorry, it was not well, there was a war in Europe 100 years ago too, right? The First World War. But if you think about the Second World War, that was 20 years later. So yeah, that was 80 years ago, 1930, right? And we're in the 20s, so that was 90 years ago. Um, there's always going to be a way to find horror on the planet, and it's all they sell us. So, woo! All right. Do I want to get something else? I don't want to get food. I might want to like. I might want to. All right, hold on, everybody. All right, we're gonna cut this on, and we're gonna light some sage because it's the weekend, and why not? This I got this week. It was this long, and yeah. Ooh. Yep. All right. Wow, that's not good. All right. We're gonna sit that there, and we're gonna polish off this last glass. Well, not last glass, but and talk about tomorrow. Here's the thing, man. People. Let's flip this. So let's go over the history of this channel. It hasn't been that long. When I started this, I started trying to learn to play the guitar. Has not been going well, but that's fine. I'm good with that. It's just going to take me a little longer than I expected. I don't flip my fingers fast enough. I should try that bar chord. Where's that bar thing? Not really supposed to be. You know what I should be trying to do? I was supposed to put up the where is it? I was supposed to put up. That's not it. I was supposed to put up. Here it is. Saturday Guitar Show, but I could not find this. So tomorrow should be 54. So I'll likely change the one that's up here right now. Let's do this. Because that says are you serious right now? It's not even up here. I could have sworn I put this up before I did anything else. All right, hold on. Yeah, here it is. So it's that's episode 28 for tomorrow. But I should put. Here's the thing: are we doing music tomorrow? I could erase that and put up music tomorrow, but there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of nonsense, I guess, which is going to be going around tomorrow. I wonder if I can even find catching up 25. Da, 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 da. So this is Sunday. All right. So this would have been. Oh, all right. I see what I did. All right. What I did last week was I called this a catching up with some guitar, and I kept the numbers rolling. But it should be guitar session 54 if I change it. You know what? I got a lot going on this week. I won't change it. So yes, tomorrow is remember we're here every day from Monday through Saturday, 6:30 p.m. and we're here Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Uh, we're slowly getting it together. It's not. It's working out. It's fine. It's good. It's fine. It's fine. It's good. What are you worrying about? It's fine. It's good. No, don't panic. It's fine. It's good. Just calm down. Just relax. We got this. All right. So, uh, still learning chords and stuff, and not actually learning a full song yet, which is problematic because I think I learned a lot of chords, right? And everything I look at says you need about 5 chords. Some songs are written with 3 or 4 chords. Um, Still bad with the metronome, but I feel like the way I learned to do this is so upside down and lopsided that it might pay off in the end. I don't think I could teach anybody to do it the way I'm trying to do it, but this is what it is, right? You go at it without a teacher. You find some things out, you learn some stuff, but like I said, it's the internets, right? So you can look up 1,000 people talking about the guitar online, and it'll be good. Okay, so I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna polish this off and check on that incense to make sure the house ain't burning down. Remember the times we used to have when we first started this thing? How young we were when the internet was new. Remember that? Me and my guitar shirts, hopeful. Remember how young we were? How naive we were? Uh, c'est la vie, c'est la guerre. Say what up. We ran into this problem too yesterday, right? This idea that this idea that we talked about all the big issues and there was nothing really to talk about yesterday. I mean, let's slide over. Uh, we didn't want to, we didn't want to talk about Biden or any of this stuff because we talked about it the day before. And we got into a point where we talked about everything, everything, everything. Um, we had nothing else to talk about. We talked about Iraq and Afghanistan. We talked about these police shootings. We talked about the arrest and indictment of the DA in charge of the Ahmaud Arbery case. Right. We talked about how this keeps going on. We talked about how the media has taken it off TV now that the election is over. Right. You want to talk about something else? Even as a young black guy was killed by the cops yesterday who was unarmed, and people lost their shit about it. But it's not on your TV. So we talked about all these things. What is the point of all this talking that we're doing? Are we going to change anything? I think we want to. Maybe that's the thing that will make our New Year's resolution. How can we throw some positive goodness into this whole hot mess of a ridiculous scenario going on here? Don't know. I have no idea. But someone has to do something, right? This is what I was taught. If you can come up with the idea and make it foundational, right? Then your kids can make it uh, transactional, right? They can make it a business because they grew up with it and they may see it differently. And the hardest thing you have to do is keep it alive and then know when to let go when your kids take over. But you also have to raise a kid, not to just want to sit on a yacht like Paris Hilton, right? You got to make sure they want to. Oh, I can't wait till I run this business. I'm gonna take it from 3 shops to 50 shops, right? And then he gets goes, oh, my dad made it. Now look at me. But you always got to watch the third generation. The third generation will always fuck it up because they grew up um, at that point wealthy and away from the people who had to work hard, right? Uh, Super hard. But then people from like these law schools and these private colleges show up and become board members who didn't build anything, and they just make themselves ludicrously rich off something that's 1,000 years old, like GE. Right? I can see if it was still under power from the people or the family who built it, but now it's just an anonymous roamer, giant company gobbling up the gobbles. Uh Man, we'll see what happens, man. Whoo-hoo. So having trouble with my C's. With a pick. I haven't played with a pick in a while. And also can't keep this thing from sliding off my blue jeans. I gotta tell you, man. One of the best things I've ever done for myself is give up on some of the stuff that I gave up on. But the best things, right? Now I just want simple shit. I still want to write though. Now I just want to write for me versus write something that sells to a million people. I mean, I still would like that, but I think chasing bad shit gets you nowhere. So now what are you chasing? I'm trying to chase knowing that I'm still intelligent enough to pick a new habit up like this, right? So this is what I'm chasing now. And I'm trying to also keep myself steady. What does that mean? Um, let's tilt this down a little bit. What does that mean? I think people can get off the path and still think that they're great and wonderful and righteous. Um, how are you taking the side of an innocent person killed by the police? Right? You know what I'm saying? That's like taking the side of the burglar, right? It's like I cannot wait for this thing to be over. And by that I mean this COVID thing. It's going on 2 years, people. But I think for the winter cycle of this show, I'm gonna work on my my strumming because the strumming is really not easy. and then there's 2, 3, and then there's changings within the 1, 2, 3, 4 of it, right? It's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you're like, wait, what just happened? So yeah, I'm totally having a totally new respect for these young rock and roll kids and their what's the word I'm looking for? Their their laid back easiness into getting involved with this thing. Some people do it when they're 18. The average guitar picker upper is like 17, 18. But some of them start when they're like young guys are like 12, right? Some of the ladies start young too, right? Writing poetry, being all deep thinkers and all that good shit. You gotta love that because those are the people that will write, the love song at your wedding. Uh, well, marriage is dead. Nobody's getting married anymore. Um, ooh, that's sad. Are people not actually getting married anymore? Oh well. I'm pro marriage. Um, I think it's good for people. You get a partner to run through this life with and fight it out, build a business, build a family. You know, have somebody who's got your back when it goes back. But I think the average, mind you, never married, not married. So I take this with a grain of salt. What I'm saying, I think the average people, uh, not the average people. I guess the average people are the new people, though, right? They're mostly 18 to 34, right? I don't think they take it as seriously as older people did. And I think it was a long, slow slide, right? A legal union between two persons that confers certain privileges and entails certain obligations of each person to the other. Formally restricted in the United States to a union between a man and a union between a woman and a man. B, a similar union of more than two people, a polygamous marriage. C, a union between persons that is recognized by custom or religious tradition as a marriage. Okay, a common law marriage, meaning no one gets married, but you've lived together for 25 years. The state of relationship of two adults who are married. Their marriage has been a happy one. A wedding. Where is the marriage to take place? A wedding. All right. A close union. The most successful marriage between beauty and blood is mainstream comics. Lloyd Rose. Game. The combination of the king and queen of a same suit, as in Pen Pinochle. All right. So marriage can mean all of this, a wedding. Oh, they're getting married, right? Marriage. Okay, that makes sense. Uh, nah, people just aren't doing it anymore. Hey, I mean, things go out of fashion. What are shit that used to be? What things went out of fashion? Or the clothes, except what when style, 15 things that went out of style, odyssey, that we hope never come back, trends. How about this? Of practice. Practice learning method. All right, well, I can't find it. Uh, it's that kind of thing, right? It's the idea that, forget it. All right, so we've got 20 minutes. We've been streaming for about 55. I think I'm gonna go back to this song that I've been trying to play. Do I even want to pull it up? We're gonna have to better organize this whole thing, but it is what it is for now. Um, whew. The lights just came on. When is sunset?
Sunset tomorrow will be at 7:17 p.m.
All right. All right. So, oh my gosh. Uh, there really isn't much to talk about. Like I said, we talked about everything that's important to talk about 2 days ago. Now it gets into quirky stuff like this guy who found gold. Yeah. Officials, it appears button was pushed accidentally that shut down half the subway system last month. Somebody said, don't push that button, but this button? Ugh, it's always, look, they're talking about spending all this money to keep New York safe. I mean, it's just posturing. They keep telling you, at least I believe, they keep telling you, hey, look, we stopped all these terrorist attacks. You go, okay, we got your word to go on there, right? We've kept you safe for 20 years. Like, okay, yeah, I can't really. I mean, the only way you know is if you trot these people out, right? And go, these people about to blow up this bomb or do this evil and horrible thing. Uh, I guess. Otherwise, you could just say that all the time. Something almost happened yesterday, but then you're like, I think, I think the problem is faith in the system, right? So not everybody's questioning everything because people have seen the system be completely ridiculous, right? So even 50 years ago, 60 years ago, somebody would have an affair and the press would keep it secret. Like there was rumors that um, Kennedy was sleeping with Marilyn Monroe, right? But they would keep it secret because it was a different kind of press then. Then the tabloid features came around the 80s and greed is good, right? And all of a sudden, now you have the kind of press that follows like underage teenagers around, waiting for their 18th birthday to jump out of the bushes and get them bathing topless in Saint Tropez because they got the money to do it, right? And it's called journalism, and they're protected by the same rights as those people who used to, break news and like do investigative journalism, as well as the people like Dan Rather who got famous by popping into people's workplaces and accusing them of shit, right? On camera. And now people do it all the time. You walk out your house, go to the news, and a whole bunch of people swap up and be like, yo, where's your wife? Did you take the money? Did you do X? And you're like, did you cheat? You're like, what are you talking about? So, but as soon as something happens, the first thing famous people always want is privacy, right? So I mean, we are we're part of the wheel here, right? Um, I mean, I guess it's all human nature now, right? Gossip and innuendo and speculation, right? And then the gory fights and the gory murders. But when people say serious stuff, shit like, well, we really do need universal health care, or we really do need these bankers looked after, or you got to break up these monopolies, everything goes silent. Um, I mean, it's funny. I want to say when this whole thing before the pandemic, my whole concern with the Me Too movement was it was being used politically, and in the last month, they had to get rid of like 5 people under this Cuomo scandal. And you should call it a scandal. It's a scandal. It's a scandal. He had to leave office. Um, Under him, his lieutenant governor had to leave office for harassing a woman who elevated, I want to say Letitia James. Then she ran with him again and won. Uh, Firing people, people leaving. He's got a lot of money from a book deal that looks weary. He lied about the amount of people who died, right? So this is a scandal. Um, but no one's calling it a scandal. That's fine. Not a scandal. I'm just saying. All right. Elon Musk is dominating the space race. Jeff Bezos is trying to fight back. Oh, look, billionaires fighting it out among themselves. Here's your problem. I don't see how this affects me, right? If NASA does it, I think it affects me. Uh, how do these billionaires even get clearance for this shit? How does someone even takes the insurance on this? For all you know, your rocket could fall out the sky and land in a neighborhood, right, and set the whole neighborhood aflame or poison everybody. Who's gonna tell what? Who is insuring these things? Boy, uh, maybe I'll sell all my comic. Maybe I'll give my comic books away on stream. YouTube star accused of using Pinterest photos for fake lavish lifestyle. Yeah, I mean, that's what the rappers did, right? They would rent the giant houses and rent the gold jewelry and rent the expensive rides so they could sell you opulence. And then you would buy their record or whatever. And then they could eventually get the opulence, right? Or they would rent it and then they would have to give it back because they were added to the price of the video in the old days, anyway. U.S. Senate Democrats float a stock buyback. Who gets the money in a stock buyback? See, this is what I mean. They just give money from the national treasury to their friend through these weird schemes, and they don't fucking fix anything. The place is falling apart. Someone's gonna have to do something about it. Someone's really gonna have to do something about it. Kentucky GOP overrides Governor Andy Beshear in statewide school mask mandate. So he said everyone has to wear a mask. The Kentucky GOP overrode the governor, and now no one has to wear a mask. Okay, this is my thing. If you get it and you die, okay, it's on you. But the government doesn't want that, right? Because you're also, I think, spreading it. But to see these people, unvaccinated TikToker dies after begging people to get vaccinated in final video. Yeah, yeah. Ugh. Oh, this is horrible. We're going to be like this for a little while. Um, I used to love baseball and football. Now I don't even know what's going on. Everybody, here's the thing. Giuliani associate pleads guilty in campaign donation case. Well, that's not good. That doesn't mean Giuliani did anything. Even though I think Giuliani is it's just my humble opinion. I think he's a shady character. I think he's done some good stuff, but like always, you let stuff rot on the vine, and it rots on the vine. Ugh. Oh my goodness. Your husband is a sex offender. All right, look, listen. I don't even know what to tell you. These are the celebrities people like. I mean, I don't even understand why you still have a career if you're. Well, he's not. He's the husband of. All right, fine, fine. Man killed in car crash stuns family by turning up at home alive and well. Okay, hold on, wait a minute. That looks like something we might want to look at. Uh, all right. Oh, she's a cutie. Claremont Kings, Ohio, WXIX, great news. The family of Elder Thomas Ocampamea was devastated when the Ohio State Highway Patrol told him that he was killed in a crash. Law enforcement Law enforcement told his family the 42-year-old man was driving on Interstate Wednesday when a semi truck rammed him from behind, ejecting him from the vehicle. But as the family members were about to tell Okamohanu's 9-year-old son the man was allegedly dead, pulled up in the driveway, Jasmine Ibar, the 9-year-old half sister, ran outside in disbelief. I said to see that he was dead or not. I needed to see if he was dead or not. And it was Elder Abara said, and I just opened the door and said, first of all, what a fucking great name. For you're supposed to be dead, and he just looked shocked and was like, you don't know what you're talking about. As it turns out, Okampameya is alive and well. It feels like someone came back from the dead, Ibarra said. Okampameya said the whole situation felt surreal and very sad. It was crazy, Barr said. It was a long morning for me. It just felt like a movie. A different man was killed in the crash with a semi truck on Interstate Wednesday, but the coroner's office has not yet identified him. So he wrecked his car there. He left it there and went home. The cops was like, "We got a body outside the car, unrecognizable, but we do have the car, and the car is registered too." So who died? 2015. German murder victim Petra Paziska turns up alive. 1984 disappearance. This is 2015. Woman who died of COVID turns up alive and well 9 days later. Surely there's more to this story. Did we just look at this one? Yeah, we did. All right, hold on. There's a lot of there's I mean, there's got to be more to the. All right, this look. Oh, it's not long either. It's been nearly 20 years since Franny Bright. This is 2009. What? Family Shackman, man. Okay. 911 responded, blistering fire, global, da 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 da. Their dad died in 9/11. Yeah. All right. See, it's already a ton of 9/11 stuff. Um. Yep. All right. Just one story. Whew, I don't even know what to tell you. Just one story, but that is a story. So you just leave your car and you just walk home from the interstate, but there's a dead guy there. Did you not see the dead guy? Did you not think you should hang around and talk to the popo when they showed up and be like, "Yo, man, yeah, nah, I'm fine. This is my car though. We got into an accident. I don't know who that is, but I'm not him." Versus the cops showing up, finding one body and your car, and making what I would consider a logical conclusion that, well, this gentleman died in this thing and it's horrible. Now someone has to go to the address of this car and inform see if anybody's there, and then inform them and give them grief counseling and all this stuff. Meanwhile, he's taking the Uber back home. After 9/11, no Americans were held to account. Here's why that's dangerous. No one is held to account for shit. Look, listen, here's the thing. I think I was about to say this, now I lost my train of thought earlier. No one's ever held accountable. So 30 years ago, like when people were having affairs and the press knew about it and they would keep their mouth shut. Um, and then 50 years later, someone would write a book about, oh, he was doing this all of a sudden. You're like, well, the president's not, get out. Now it's like, I'm going to do whatever I want. Not only am I going to do whatever I want, uh, I operate at a level where the cops can't look into me. I'm a congressman or a senator or a president, right? And I throw these swanky parties and give you inside government information just in case you get drunk or you get high, you need to call somebody. I can help you fix that because I know this judge or that, And then before you know it, you just have this layer of what's the word I'm looking for? This layer on top of your government of ineffectual and unaccountable people. I mean, this is why you want new blood in, as I think is what they call it, uh, but not so new as to be 19 and stay there forever. But yeah, I mean, plus everybody knows each other, hangs out with each other, goes golfing with each other. Then before you know it, no one's. They're all the same group. They're all the same club. They may tell you one thing, but they all golf together and hang out together. Their kids marry each other. They all love each other until the scandal breaks out. Then everybody acts like no one knows them. But just last week, you were telling me how you were the best of friends, and you know, so and it's ridiculous because now there's another Clinton movie on Netflix, and I'm like, really, another one? Um, I don't know what to say. Uh, we've gone through this. Now people are just writing these stories for money and their own miserableness, right? I mean, who doesn't know this story? Are you what are you bringing it to it? Oh, it's not it's just a movie. It's not a historic document. It's not a what if. It's just something that happened 30 years, and you're like, all right, fine. But other stuff has happened, right? And they're only on this. You could have talked about some of the other 20 women who accused Clinton of shit, right? Make some of those movies. So it's like, you reminds me of, it's like the Superman movie. So like the all the Superman movies always have this plane crash scene in it, right? Uh, it may or may not start in his small hometown, but a lot of them do. But they all have like this plane going down and him flying to rescue it and landing it, usually in a ballpark or some ridiculous shit. Uh, it is what it is. I mean, I love comic books, but now at this point, it's like uh the Lone Ranger, like he just drive around on this crisp clean horse with this. You're like, where do they stay when it rains? What do they? You begin to think about stuff as you get older, um, and you just kind of like, yeah. So I often wonder, like, how many kids in the 20s or 30s when those cowboy westerns were popular looked at this and was like, no one ever runs out of bullets and no one's belts are ever empty, and it makes a curious mind is a good thing, man. I got to tell you, now, a lot of people don't have curious minds. Uh, work on our own problems is what we need, but the people at the top, this insulate crust of perpetually their people, perpetually getting it wrong and perpetually getting paid. I think someone's gonna have to freaking rescue America. China presses Taliban, but Uyghurs group sees Afghanistan opportunity. Yep, maybe let's see what China can do in Afghanistan. So, what do they call Afghanistan? The graveyard of empires? Why did they do that? Graveyard of empires. We burned a lot of money there. Graveyard. The graveyard of empires is a sobriquet, which is like a moniker, right? A sobriquet is a nickname. A person's nickname. She was very vast and haughty person who answered to the sobriquet of Duchess. Yeah, it's a sobriquet is a nickname. I love a educated poison. All right, a sobriquet originated from the historical tendency that foreign powers often fail in their invasions of Afghanistan. It's unclear who coined the phrase, and its historical accuracy has been disputed. All right, calm down. Then we go here and we put this on. Um, let's look into this. Let's know shit. It's good to know shit. It's getting dark, so I'm gonna have to sort of close this window. All right, here we go. The great government of empire is a sobriquet associated with Afghanistan. Uh, the sobriquet originates from the historical tendency that foreign powers often fail in their invasions of Afghanistan. It is unclear who coined the phrase, and its historic accuracy has been disputed. Background: during the history of Afghanistan, several superpowers have attempted to invade Afghanistan without maintaining a stable permanent rule. Minor examples include the British Empire during the First and Third Anglo-Afghan Wars, 1839, 1842, and 1919. Okay. The Soviet Union in the Soviet-Afghan War, 1979 to 1989, 10 years. And the United States in the war in Afghanistan, 2001 to 2021. Twice as long. Good job. Some have attributed the ancient empire to the narrative, including the Persians, Greeks, Arabs, Turks, and the Mongols. The difficulty in invading Afghanistan, some had attributed ancient empires to the narrative, including the Persians. The Persians fought Afghanistan, the Greeks fought Afghanistan, the Arabs fought Afghanistan, the Turks and the Mongols fought Afghanistan. Then why aren't there power? The difficulty in invading Afghanistan was attributed to the prevalence of fortresses like Qualits. Okay, well, let's look at what a qualit is. Ugh. Qualat, Kalata in Persian, and Qualat in Arabic means fortified place. The common English language is Qualat. Okay, uh, was attributed to the prevalences of fortresses like Qualats. The desert, the mountains, terrains of Afghanistan, its severe winters, and its impregnable clan loyalties. And outside neighboring countries such as Pakistan, where foreign invaders and outside neighboring countries support, such as Pakistan, where foreign invaders were unable or not permitted to cross into such nations to destroy their enemies' sanctuaries. And outside neighboring countries support, such as Pakistan, where foreign invaders were were unable or not permitted to cross into such nations to destroy their enemy sanctuaries. All right, so Pakistan wouldn't let you cross across Pakistan to have to war with Afghanistan. Okay, yeah, I don't buy this at all. I mean, I think people started concentrating on graft in the Afghan, and yeah, uh, I think you could have absolutely have blown shit up. You're telling me these fucking places don't crumble from the might of bombs? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Enough oil. If I'm buying, yeah, I don't buy this at all. I don't buy this narrative at all. Thomas Barford was known that the narrative of Afghanistan as an unconquered nation has been used by Afghanistan itself to deter invaders. In October 2001, during the United States invasion of Afghanistan, Taliban leader Muammar Omar threatened the United States with same fate as the British. Of course, they always talk shit. We just looked at this, and he said that American tanks were not in Baghdad, even as they were around the corner, right? So this is part of this Middle Eastern talk shit thing that they always do. Uh, Same fate as the British Empire and the Soviet Union. U.S. President Joe Biden referred to the Soviet while delivering a public statement following 2020 fall. Well, he's a fucking loser. A fall of Kabul as evidence that no further commitment of U.S. military presence would consolidate the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan sent to Taliban. Wow. Just the worst president in modern history, and he's only been there 6 months, in my opinion. Before all you people start losing your mind about fucking Trump. You may not have liked how Trump acted, but remember, the North Koreans calmed the fuck down. The who's the other two people? The Chinese calmed the fuck down, and Iraq calmed the fuck down. Not Iraq, Iran. And then as soon as he was gone, the nonsense kicked off again. Uh, Foreign correspondent Rod Norling noted that, in truth, no great empire perishes solely because of Afghanistan. Lecture report called the attribute a forced exploitation from something that is that is true, that there's tactical and strategic difficulty. There is tactical and strategic difficulty. Okay. Barfield pointing out that 2,500 years of Afghanistan was always part of somebody's empire, beginning with the Persian in the 5th century, following the Persian Alexander the Great, the Mongols, Timur, and the Barbar, the Mongol Empire, all used Afghanistan as a base in their expansion. The British Empire was not destroyed after the Third Anglo-Afghan War, the third, wow, and the fall of the British Empire was more commonly attributed to World War II. Wow, really? They're calling the fall of the British Empire was commonly attributed to World War II. Okay. While the Soviet Union, while the Soviet-Afghan War was a major factor in the dissolution of the Soviet Union, right, because they ran out of money, the opposition in Afghanistan was only possible with U.S., Britain, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and Chinese aid. Yeah, because we helped them fight the Afghanis. So the proxy war for us, the British, the Pakistanis, the Saudi Arabians, and the fucking Chinese. So they essentially fought 5 armies, uh, and 5 countries throwing money in. Um, Furthermore, there is reason to believe that the Soviet Union will have collapsed regardless of the campaign. I remember all this in 1989. Nevertheless, the narrative allowed for arguments from analogy and the claim of history repeating itself, which is popular among authors and pundits. Yeah, no one fucking has really history in the Richmond Seminary. The concept of historical have been applied to. Why is Mark Twain there as the sign of this? Okay, I gotta look this up. I gotta see why Mark Twain is there. Mark Twain, a favorite theory of mine is that no occurrence is sole and solitary, but is merely a repetition of a thing which has happened before and perhaps often. Huh. That's amazing. I've never heard that quote from him before. That's science fiction as fuck right there. A favorite theory of mine that no occurrence is sole and solitary. So no occurrence is alone or by itself, but is merely a repetition of a thing which has happened before. So we've had the internet before. We went to Mars before. Not no, maybe we haven't gone to Mars yet, but we will go to Mars because we went to Mars before. We went to the moon. So somewhere in the 1500s, people who think like this would be like, "Nah, we've been to the moon before. We'll go again." This is the second age of or something like that. Wow. Wow. That's interesting AF. Arnold J. Toynbee, Niccolo Machiavelli. Yeah. Gabriel Marquez. All right. Yeah. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. 6 Degrees of Solitude, right? Martha Gellhorn. Who is she? Oh my God. This is a rabbit hole. I'm not going down this rabbit hole. That's ridiculous. Graveyard of Empires. Yeah, so I don't believe this either. Yeah, you can't get, it's hard to get spies in there, but you know what? You can kill up a whole bunch of fucking people. You really can. You can absolutely empty them of their, their juice. I hate to say it. Depending on your will to do it. But like I said, I just think that people started concentrating on getting money out of the government. And before you know it, you're there for 20 years. You've been supplying everything from bullets to toilet paper, charging the government, what, $25 per roll of toilet paper or some bullshit like that you can get for $1. And after 20 years of it, look, after all these things, people should always look where the money went. And people don't want to do that now because people will be going to jail. This is a war, and people did that. It's profiteering. It really is, and it's against the law. But you know all these people, and they're not going to hold you accountable, and you're going to get away with $700 million that you made over the last 20 years or whatever. Uh, all the while, people are talking about stuff that we shouldn't be talking about anymore, like abortion and if a cop can kill some innocent person who didn't have a gun, right? So you're going to talk about that instead of talking about like where the money went in the Afghanistan war. See what I'm saying? This is why I have to practice guitar and play guitar and just clear my head and do that because I see this and I've seen it before. Um, I was looking up the petticoat scandal, which is this thing about Andrew Jackson and uh, his wife had died after right before he won the election, died of heart attack. He loved her like forever, and then one of his young, like his uh young what do you call him? Like I guess he was like 60, and the other guy he looked after who was like in his 30s or 20s or 30s. He wanted to marry this girl who sort of had the same kind of like had resume as him, his ex-wife, who had been married before, and they ran into some conflict over it. But all the other women in Washington didn't want to hang out with her because she had been married before, and they thought, you know, she would she was a bit loose and ridiculous before she even got married. They wanted to have anything to do with her, and it caused this rift in like his cabinet, right? And then it got out, and then they used it, I guess, against him as like scandal stuff. And you're just kind of like, everybody's dirty. Everybody has always been dirty, right? When are we going to grow out of this so we can actually fix whatever the fuck needs to fix? Excuse my language. Whatever the heck needs fixing. Um, yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. That was in. I want to say that was in the 1830s, right? Hold on, wait. Oh, good lord, I don't want to say it's in the 1830s, but that doesn't sound right because the Civil War was not sandal scandal. 1926, 1831. All right. So yeah, it was in the 1830s. Um 1830s. Early life, military, 18 election, corrupt bargain, seventh, da, 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 da. Second term, 1828 campaign, first inauguration. The first inauguration, oh, he was president for 8 years. Andrew Jackson as the seventh, oh, he was the seventh president of the United States. Seventh is a lucky number, people. He was almost the sixth, right? So seven is a lucky number. Let's look at the presidents of the United States. Military, presidential legacy. Yeah, not, you know what? We're not even gonna wander down this this man. Whew, we're not even gonna open up a whole new kettle of worms and wander down into that. We've been streaming for an hour and a half. Uh, please like and subscribe. This is about it for us, though. Uh, it's a little after 5 here on the East Coast of America. Yeah, yeah. Uh, go out and enjoy your weekend. It's going to be baller. We've got very few summer days left here. Before the snows, not the snows, but like winter foliage begins to turn and all that really cool stuff. Uh, remember that You don't really need to take pills for everything. You can just get out and get some fresh air and do some walking around. That's the fucking truth. All right, boys and girls, I will see you tomorrow at 6:30. I don't even know what we're gonna do. What are we gonna do on September 11th? We're not gonna talk about September 11th. Someone's watching a game outside. Uh, so we're not gonna talk about September 11th. We're gonna do something else. I don't know what we're gonna do yet. Uh, we're gonna do something else. All right. I will see you in the next one, and the next one is tomorrow, and that's at 6:30. Please like and subscribe, and come back tomorrow. Every day, Monday through Saturday, 6:30. Sunday we stream at 7:30 a.m. 6:30 p.m. Monday through Saturday. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. If I don't see you, enjoy your weekend. Maybe you'll get with us Monday at 6:30. All right, take care. Peace out.